I'm Jay Taylor, editor of a newsletter called Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks. And I'm here at the Metals Investor Forum. That's the November. We met in person for a change. It was very nice to do that. And Quinton didn't join us. He wasn't able to make it, but we're very pleased that he can be available to us remotely to talk about White Rock Minerals. And this is a company that Crescat Capital is a strategic investor in. And of course, Quinton is a technical advisor and works with Crescat on an ongoing basis now. Thanks for joining me, Quinton.
Thank you, Jay.
I should just tell our viewers, this is a stock, White Rock Minerals. It trades it trades in the U.S., doesn't trade in Canada, but trades in Australia. WRM is a symbol over there. WRMCF is a symbol here in the States, and that's how I purchased my shares. 89.5 million shares outstanding. I checked just recently, it's about 22 cents in US money. It's only a 20 million market cap, which I think is quite remarkable given all this company has going for it. It's in Alaska, the Red Mountain project in Alaska, where there's a sizable VMS deposit. I think it's a silver zinc rich deposit. And then there's, I think, what really attracted Quinton, he can correct me if I'm wrong, the Last Chance gold prospect, which got him excited. That's also part of the Red Mountain project. But the company also is active in Australia, the Woods Point gold project. It's an advanced stage near production project. And I think that looks very exciting. And what's good, of course, about that is that whereas the Red Mountain project is in Alaska and they can't explore it during the winter, the company will have news flow from Woods Point gold project, and also Mount Carrington is a joint venture project that it has down there as well. So there's a lot going on for White Rock Minerals. So Quinton, I don't know if do you want to start out talking about the Australian activity, because that's what's going on now, or where would you like to start?
Well, that's a good question. Look, how about we start with Australia?
Okay.
We supported the transaction. I felt that it was important the company have an asset, a high quality project to work on in Australia in the off seasons. And really it's operable year round. So it's an exceptional opportunity for White Rock to now continue exploring. But yeah, happy to.
All right, so let's start out then. It's the Woods Point gold project. Tell us about it. I think it's had some production in the past, right? And they're exploring underground.
It has. It's actually a very interesting story because the Morningstar mine, which is, I think, the biggest producer on their property. Not to say there aren't some other producers immediately around, but the biggest producer on their property produced 850,000 ounces, more or less. Very high grade, nearly an ounce per ton. And interestingly, that mine was the predecessor to Western Mining, which was a major Australian mining firm. So it really helped build that company. But the Morningstar mine is an example of the kind of potential that can be found on this property. It is in the Victorian goldfields. So we're talking similar geology to for example, the Fosterville mine that Kirkland Lake has, but a number of high-grade deposits. And in the case of Woods Point, the deposits, they're orogenic, they're high-level orogenic systems, so they can be very high-grade, but they tend to be focused in and around these dikes that cut across the area. So these dikes of igneous rock came up, they're quite brittle, and when the ground was shifted or moved subsequent, these things broke up like almost like poker chips, and the veins actually occupy those fractures in the dike, which is really interesting because these things end up just being a stack of many different veins, all very high grade in a very compact amount of volume, so they can make absolutely delightful targets.
It's almost vertical, huh? The structures.
The structures are actually fairly low angle, believe it or not. The dike itself is near vertical, but the structures are modest dipping, and they're just stacked like poker chips. So you get, in 100 meters, you can have 2 or 3 of these things, and they can all be quite prolific.
How much production came out of there before, and what sort of grades, and where are they now in terms of how deep are they now exploring below the old workings?
Yeah, so at Morningstar, the plan is to explore certain areas within the dike that have not historically been explored all that well. So they have this area they call the gap zone, but even in the near surface, there's some areas where there's clearly some loads that were bypassed by the old timers. Again, the mine produced about 850,000 ounces, just shy of an ounce per ton.
Oh yeah, you mentioned, yeah.
Exceptional mine. But then across the property, they have a number of targets across the whole district that are very similar in nature. They're very high grade, dike hosted, organic gold system. So I'd say the company has a really good future.
So we should have some news flow from there, some gold assays and so forth coming forward, I guess.
Yes, they'll have assays routinely from the work they're doing on the Woods Point project. I think they have 2 drills operating at present.
All right. You want to just touch on Mount Carrington? They have I think Thompson Resources can earn up to 70% there. That's a near-term production facility as well, right?
That's right. Look, it was a great opportunity for them because with a kind of a limited land position there, they didn't have room to grow, but Thompson Resources has the surrounding ground and had ambition to go into production. So give them White Rock's free carry. That's a fantastic outcome. It's basically a high-grade silver gold epithermal system that is a bit unusual for Australia, but that's what it is. And I think the guys there at Thompson will do a fantastic job creating some value out of that for White Rock shareholders.
Wonderful. Okay, let's move on to Alaska with the limited amount of time we have. And, the Red Mountain VMS project, I think 9.1 million tons so far, 609 grams per ton silver equivalent grade, zinc rich. It's got other things in there too. They did some more work this year. No doubt they'll be expanding that resource. I don't know if they'll do a calculation anytime soon. But talk to us about Red Mountain and also Last Chance, which I know is, I think, the reason that you really got excited about this story.
Yeah, look at Red Mountain. It's really to be thought of as a district. Okay, it's just like SK or something. It's a district scale VMS camp. They've got 2 deposits that are partially drilled off, the Dry Creek and then the West Tundra Flats deposits. But if you look at the geophysics and geochemistry that's been collected over the past couple of years, you can easily see they've got many, many new targets. This Kiwi zone that they explored this year, it's like a string of Christmas lights, just one target after another. It'll be very keen to see how that unfolds as they explore it next year. And then Last Chance, like you said, it's a gold system. It's right in the middle of all of this VMS stuff, which is really interesting. But if you know the geology of the region, this is part of the Tintina Belt. And in the Tintina Belt, you often get these later stages, like Cretaceous age intrusions that have come up, and they generate gold systems. And what they found at Last Chance, they identified the area through BLEG sampling, stream sediment sampling, just lit up. I mean, it was one of the biggest gold anomalies I've ever seen, highest magnitude too. They went and drilled a few holes last year thinking, hey, maybe we can get, lucky very quickly here and make a discovery. But this year, I think what they discovered is that the gold system is actually occurring at a bit deeper level. So they actually found some pretty broad areas of mineralization at a lower elevation in the system. If you look at some of the photos in their presentation, you'll see outcrops of gold mineralization where they've sampled now at a shallower elevation. I should say a lower elevation. Mm-hmm. All right. And it's going to be real important that they get back in there and test that with drilling next year. I think now the geology is better understood. And I think from here, the odds of making successful discovery is going to be improved.
Right. And so how soon can they get in there, more or less?
Yeah, again, it's a seasonal program. Late May is usually the point they can enter, and then they can operate up into around mid to late September.
Mm-hmm. So lots going on with this company, 20 million market cap. I don't think, obviously the Canadians don't know it. It doesn't trade up there. Trades in the U.S. and in Australia. I think this is a story that really begs to be paid attention to.
Very much so.
Um,
Huge amount of value in one company. It's almost mind-boggling. I mean, each one of these things, is a project of envy. Like most juniors would do well on just one of these, but this company's got multiple world-class opportunities.
Yeah, and it's coming at a time when the major mining companies are doing exceedingly well. They're making more money, I think, more profitable than most everybody else, every other sector in the S&P 500. The big guys have money, and they're going to be looking for major deposits. And it would seem as though the Alaskan project in particular looks like it could have some real scale to it. And geez, it's very exciting, Quinton. Thank you so much again for spending time to let people know about this exciting story. I don't know, people paying attention to Bitcoin, everything else, but these are, if you really understand that gold is money, it's been around for thousands of years. It's going to be the go-to monetary system again, I think, anyway, who knows? But thank you very much for
Thank you
sharing this with us. Thank you, Quinton.
Always a pleasure.